What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you the best way to do accounting, whether you're a small business, a sole proprietor, an entrepreneur, just keeping track of all your money, all your income, all your expenses, and things like that. Now, it's pretty important. Now, this isn't professional advice by any means. This is just what I do. There's certain things you will want to look out for because if you get sued and you're an LLC and you have that LLC or business structure to protect yourself, and you're commingling accounts, you have the same records for yourself and your business, you can run into issues that way. So make sure, talk to a professional if you want that advice. But I'm gonna show you how I keep track, what my Excel sheets look like and how I do everything. And then after that, I'll show you how I actually create them, because these take about 5-10 minutes to make. This entire sheet did. So it's very simple and you guys can do it yourself. So stay to the end if you want that. If not, feel free to leave after. So let's jump right into this. So on my Excel sheets, I have different tabs. Now, this is just a mock-up one I made for you guys just to show, not the actual one I use. Now, I'll have different tabs here for all my different sources of income. Now, if you just have one, it's easy. You just need to make one. It should probably take you about 1 minute, which, again, I'll show you at the end of this video. So I have one for YouTube, for my course, for affiliate links, for other, and then I have one totaling it up, and then I have one for all my expenses and cash flow. So any money in, any money out. Now, I like to personally track daily. You can track daily, weekly, monthly. I wouldn't recommend doing it less than once a month. But what I'll do is I'll automatically have Chrome open in the morning, and it'll auto open all my tabs to all my different sources of income. So I'll have like 8 tabs open, and then I'll have another page that opens to my bank account, my PayPal, my Stripe, anything where money goes in and out for me. So I'll keep track daily. So you can see here, I'll put in what day it is, so very simple to make that, but I'll put what day it is, how many sales I'm getting. Now, it depends what type of business you have. If you have inventory and you're getting sales on units, okay, there's something like that. If you're running ads, if you're doing different type of things, is it monthly recurring? It might change how you set up your Excel sheet, so I just kept it very basic because you can play with it, but that's why I'm teaching you at the end how to actually do it, because there's so many different types of businesses. So I'll just put in the number of sales I get, and then I have a formula here which automatically adds $25 per sale as an example. Again, this wouldn't be YouTube, but it would automatically add that up. So see right here where it says 75 as the total. If I change this to 10, it should change it to 250. And this is also a formula here which adds up everything in general. So if I change this to 0, watch that bottom number highlighted change, or we can put it back to 5, whatever we want. These numbers automatically update, so it's automatically summed. And again, I'll show you guys at the end of this. Now, I do that for all the different sources right here. It's not complicated. It's very basic how I keep track of everything. And then I'll have a total column for the year and monthly, and it'll normally look something like this. So it automatically pulls the numbers from all the different sources of income on these links right here and adds it up for the month, so I know. So you can see under the YouTube tab, it says 4,350. Well, if we go under the YouTube tab, it says that now, but what if we add some more sales in? We want more sales. Let's say we added 100. So it's now 6,925, and it auto updates in here under that tab. So that is kind of how I keep track as far as just income and profits. I'll go to the website in the morning, see how much I made, write it down there. And after I track all the income like that, I'll then look at my accounts such as PayPal, Stripe, business bank account, personal bank account, depends what you use. And I'll create something like a cash flow sheet. So I'll have the date that the expenses occurred. Now I'll have any money in and out. So not just expenses here. So let's say I got paid for one of my courses. I got paid $497 and it came from, let's say I got paid by Stripe here. And we'll say I paid for my office supplies with PayPal. Now I'll show you how to create the drop down again. And then I have my running total, which if I add anything, you can see the running total right here, just takes this amount, subtracts out of here. So let's say I make $100 here, and we'll say affiliate links. And let's say we got paid from our Stripe. You can see it automatically adds this in. If we take this out again, it goes down, or it goes up depending what we do. And if we put a negative, let's say we had an expense, we'll just say Amazon monthly, $40, and that came out of our bank. So now we're all organized. We know where all our money is. So any money going in and out, we know what the source of it was, what account it came from, how much the amount was, and what our running total for the day, the week, the month, or the year is. Now, I personally like to look at this information because I want to make sure I'm having good cash flow. I want to know where my money is. Now, you can go as far as categorizing these if you wanted to. I don't feel the need to, but tools such as QuickBooks and other things like that will. Now, let's jump right in and I'll show you guys how I actually created this so you guys can go ahead and create it, and little tricks I use in Excel, which are kind of basic, but you guys might not know, so you can make your sheets look pretty and functional at the same time. A lot of people are not good with Excel, and it's something I'd recommend learning. It's very simple. You only need to know a couple tricks. So down here, you can see I have different pages, and you can just click add here, rename them. Now, what I'll do is I'll have a different source of income on all of these little tabs right here. So this is just an example, not all of mine, but a couple. So let's say YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna track. Now you can choose to track daily, weekly, monthly. It's completely up to you. I like to do it daily just to see how much I'm making. So how I'll set up my sheet normally is I'll go up here and I'll put the date first, and then I will put the amount of sales I get, or just income, so sales, and then income. Now, it will depend on the source of income. If you're holding inventory, like when I do this for Amazon, it looks a little bit different. Now, one trick you will need to know pretty fast. One trick you will need to know is how to format the cells, which is very simple. All we do is click at the very top. So on the date section, all I do is right click, and then I go down here to format cells. You can also do Control 1. And then you can see there's different options: general, number, currency. Now we're gonna do date. So normally it's on this. However, I'm putting the date like this so we can see what the date is. So let's say we're starting on January 1st. So 1/1/2018. Now you have one day. Now, if you wanna do this fast, save time, all you do is highlight the cell right here. Go down over here until you see the little black cross, left click, and then pull down all the way, and it will autofill as long as you want. If you want to do the entire year, you can. I'm going to end it at 1 month right here. So you can see it automatically autofilled. Now I'm just going to bold these real quick so we know. Now, number of sales. So we just want to know a direct number. So we're going to do the same thing for formatting here. And we're going to make it just a general number, and we'll use a comma separator, but we don't need decimal places because sales, we're not getting parts of sales. So you can see if I put like 2 in here, 3, even if I put like 3.5, it'll round it up. So we'll do that for sales. And if there was a formula, you can just drag and do it, but there are no formulas, and I'll show you guys how to do those in a little bit. So income, we're gonna want this one to be a currency. So again, we're going formatting cells, currency. Now I want 2 decimal places, and I do want the money symbol. You can choose none, and you can choose if you're negative. If you want to do it in accounting style, you can. I just leave it like this. And then when we type in like this, it gives us the money sign, and we can see what it looks like. So that is what I would do for my first one. And let's say you have multiple sources of income. You can just click up here, go copy paste the entire workbook right here into each section, and boom, they're there, whatever was in that book. Now, let's say we want to use some of the formulas. So let's say we have some income here, and we'll just say we have a bunch of random numbers. Okay, those aren't numbers, but so let's say we have a bunch of random numbers, and whether they're all the way filled out or not, it doesn't matter. So all we have to do if we want the total, so normally I'll have a monthly total right here. So if you want to do a formula, all you have to do is click the equal sign first thing in a cell. And if we wanted to add 2 things, I'd click on one, click the plus sign, click on another, and it would automatically add those 2 things together. Now, if you're doing totals, the easiest way is to do equals sum, and then you can highlight whatever you want. So let's say we want everything in this row, and then we just put 1 more parentheses, hit enter, and it automatically adds stuff up in this row. Now, if we add some more money, let's say we made another $1,000. Boom, automatically goes to here. Now, when you copy and paste from when you make your first workbook, if you have second sources of income like I have down here, you can just copy and paste that in here, and it'll auto sum it, and you can just highlight all of these and delete them. Now, if you want to make it look all pretty, there is one other thing I'll show you guys. you can create a border around certain things. So I personally like to have an outside border. So it's this little tab under the home section right here. And I'll do usually outside borders. And then you can see there is a little line around the entire outside of it. If you want to do the Excel style, you can do all borders, which is like this. I personally don't like that look. It doesn't look clean to me. Or you can just do a one on the bottom of it, on the left, right, top, completely up to you. So however you guys like to set that up, feel free, do whatever you want. And then I like highlighting my totals in yellow. So under the A right here, we're gonna be yellow. Oh, I'm sorry, not under the A. Under the fill right here, we'll do yellow so we can see that there. So I'll do this for all my sources of income right here. It'll add it all up, and then I'll have a page for totals. So for the total section, it'll look a little bit different. So there's a completely separate tab for totals. Now, if you have multiple sources of income, I prefer this method. So I'll just put something along the lines of, I'll put the month right here, and then I'll put all my different sources of income. So I have YouTube, we'll just say the course, and we'll say affiliate links, and then other. And then I'll have a total section as well. And I will put in my formula. And then one thing that is pretty cool with Excel is you can cross over pages and still use formulas. So if I wanted to pull my YouTube income without having to type it in on this page separate every time, all I'd have to do is I'd put the equal sign, and then without clicking any cells, click over to my YouTube tab, click over to my monthly total for January, hit enter, and it automatically updates. Now, if anything I change, you see it's 2,505. If I put 100,000 in, it will automatically update here. And we can do the same thing for all of these different work pages that we have, so we can see our totals, and if we ever go back and edit them, we can see them. So tracking your income, very easy. You guys can make it look pretty. There's a couple things you can do. But the other thing I'll have over here is kind of my expenses or my cash flow. So any money going in and out of my business. Now, I want to know what category my expenses are in, where they came from, and where they came out of. So how I'll set up my expenses is bi-monthly, but I will track them daily. So it will be pretty similar to the income. So I'll have date, I'll have we'll say source, so whatever the cost or source is. So if we're getting paid from PayPal, okay, we're getting paid from Amazon. So I'll have source, then I'll have the amount. Now you guys can do it credit debit if you want. I personally don't like that way. Too many columns. So we have date, we have the source, we have the amount, and then we have the account. Now with this, I have multiple different accounts. Sometimes some expenses come out of my personal, some come from my business bank, some come from my PayPal or my Stripe. So that is why I like knowing where they come from so I stay organized. And one little trick that's pretty cool for this is if you want to create a dropdown, if you're going to be choosing the same few every time and you don't want to have to type out, okay, it's PayPal again, and then it's PayPal again down here. Cool, I had 50 of those today. You can click on the entire column right here. We go up to the little data ribbon up here, click on that, and then we go over to data validation, and then under settings, we click allow and then list, and then you can type anything you want in here. So let's say I have bank, I have PayPal, and I have Stripe. And let's say check. Okay, just put commas in between it all, click OK. And now anytime I click on any of these cells, you guys see the little arrow right here. I can click down and automatically choose what they are instead of having to type them every single time. So that's a pretty cool feature I like to use myself. So all of this right here. And I will also have a running total tab so I know what the total is. And I'll show you guys the formula for that in 1 second. So we make these all bold. So let's say I have 4 different expenses. Now, you see how it's saying 1 January here? If I went and changed the formatting, I could change it to look like the other ones if I wanted to. Same thing under date, like that. Perfect. So let's say I got paid from, we'll say I got a course payment through PayPal, and we'll say it was $497. So again, we'd make this currency, very easy. and it came out of the check. We know the amount and our running total. So for running total, it's pretty easy to make. All you have to do, the equal sign, and your very first one, it's just gonna be equals whatever the amount is. Now let's say we have some expenses. We'll say we bought something off of Amazon, so we'll say office supplies actually. Office supplies, and we'll say gas for fun. So we'll say this is $50, this is $25, and those came out of our bank. So we know where they came from. Now to create the running total, once you're on your second cell, that is when you can create it. So all you do, hit equals, you click the number above, and then you click add whatever this is right here, whatever the second amount is. And then we just pull down to copy the formula. Now I'll copy it to all these tabs, and you can see it'll say 422, which is our running total. Now if I add anything here, okay, we made $100 here. You see it'll change every single cell. So that is how I keep track of my money in and money out, and you always have a running total. I like this just for tax purposes to see where I'm at cash flow wise at the end of the month, just in general. So that's gonna be all for creating the actual Excel sheets and the little tricks I use. It's very simple, but I get asked it way more than you guys would think, and it's something you should know how to do if you don't wanna use a service like QuickBooks. Now, QuickBooks is $10 if you're using the entrepreneur one, and we'll do this, but I kinda like doing it myself, so I'll leave a link to that if you guys wanna look at that. But hope you enjoyed and learned something, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.